Okay, there's another concept that I want to talk about called a periodic interleaving progression, which is essentially when you have like a sort of chicken and the egg problem where you have something you want to build or like a state of being that you want to be in, but in order to be there, you have to have multiple sort of like congruent or concurrent like tools or skills or like I don't know, states of being, like physical tools, or like I don't know. You have to have lots of stuff all at the same time in order to be in the place where you want to be. And often, if you have only part of those things, or just like not all of them that you are required, then you aren't there. And there's often like this weird sort of situation where like in order to get there, you have to start, you know, acquiring those separate things, and often in so doing, you have to sort of like you can't actually like if they're small, sometimes you can acquire them all like one at a time, but often if they're not small, you don't have the space or the time to focus on getting them one at a time, so you have to just sort of like slowly go like sort of around in a circle and get them one at a time. This is something that I've noticed a lot in my own life, where I will like sort of like catch a glimpse of like a state of being that I want to be in, or something that I'm thinking about, or some like way of being better that I want to like pursue. And so I'll start working on it, but I find that like I can't work on one part of it at a time. I have to work on one part and then like switch for a while into another part, and then switch for all 12 for another part, and then like after I've like sort of like worked on all of them, I have to like circle back around to the beginning and work on the first part again. And it just takes like a while, and I noticed that like I felt like it was like I was going in circles but getting better all the time, but definitely like going in circles until I actually like got to a point of completion where I actually finished all things and I could put them all together. um, and so I'm calling it the periodic interleaving progression, because interleaving is like it's like a technique for schooling where you use other concepts from different subjects to reinforce what you're currently learning. So use them as context to help you learn something better. And I feel like it's like that. Like you interleave, you do this, and then you leave off and you do another thing, but you use the context of the last thing, which is not necessarily related. You use it as context, as contrast, to help you remember and also reinforce the new things that you're doing. And so it's like periodic, because you're doing it periodically and interleaving, and you're progressing over time. I think there's like an analogy that I like to think of where like imagine if civilization was somehow like not civilization, but like, imagine humanity was like transported back to the Stone Age somehow, and we were in the Stone Age. We had all of our current knowledge about science and technology and society, and we had all of our knowledge. We just didn't have any of the infrastructure that supported it, just like back in the Stone Age. And in order to like get back to where we are now in terms of like the infrastructure and the tools, and they just like we would have to undertake a periodic interleaving progression, because in order to build the like back up to the heights where we are now, we would have to like build basic tools that would help us get through to making like better tools, but not as good as we are now, just like a little bit better. And then we build better tools that are a little bit better, and it would be like a periodic interleaving progression, all the way back to the present. And yeah, I feel like that's like it's very much like a chicken and an egg problem, because it's like two things that sort of need to exist at the same time, and neither one can really exist on its own. You need to have like both at the same time, so you have to sort of build them both up until they both exist, and then you have the idea of a chicken and egg can only start. I don't. Yeah. Anyways, that's what that is.